From WCS Challenger Season 1 qualifiers. I wasn't able to watch this match live, but I made sure I really wanted to see it. So I pestered the players to send me the replays. I got a hold of them. They're two players. Well, let me introduce them and introduce why you should be interested if you haven't seen them yet before. In the top left, from Storm Gaming, the American Terran. His name is Epic. And he plays a macro style straight out of like 2012, 2013. Just mass production, Marines, Marauders, tanks, medevacs. His common strategy is just overwhelm his opponent with decent micro and incredible macro. So that ends up clashing very entertainingly with his teammate, also from Storm Gaming, the best Zerg player in America. It is Jonsnow. So, John is a bit more dynamic. He will cheese, but he does prefer a longer game, in my experience. He's more comfortable if we get to 3-4 bases and just start slugging it out. Epic actually beat Jonsnow in last season's qualifiers, which led to him eventually qualifying. I believe John got through in a different one. So this is a team kill and a rematch of both players from the U.S. There's a lot of history, and they're both top Grandmasters, top 8. Like 6,000 plus MMR, so not only is it all that, but they also play one another, I'm sure, on the ladder on a daily basis. So that adds into the mind games of, do I actually cheat? Like, on the ladder, what do I do? Do I try to mix it up? It is a best of 3. Which means first to 2, of course, takes the win. But so far, John has done a pool first, but he didn't have early gas, so it's just to, well, ideally delay the command center. Epic, a little greedy, did not ask CV Scout, sending the Reaper across. He's going to be unhappy to see the timing at which the hatchery finishes, because guess what? The Zergling's already in his base. John with a sneaky move to start, and this will more than likely be the end of his command center. He'll more than likely have to cancel it. He's actually going to pull some SCVs down. He's trying to be very minimal on this. You don't want to lose anything, but you really want to get that command center done. He's committed now. He has to finish the command center. The Marines, you can't have them caught either. The Reaper is making its way back across. Epic, that's his first in the way of SCVs lost. And actually some great Marine SCV micro. He's going to lose the last Marine, but he's only lost 2 SCVs. And he didn't really get the CC delayed that much. That was actually some near perfect. There's only so much micro potential in the Zerglings, but it's very easy to screw it up and lose a bunch of SCVs, get even more time delayed. Already off to a strong start. Epic, no nerves here. Well, he qualified for WCS Winter. Nice of them to name a WCS season after me, by the way. And, of course, he beat Jonsnow in last season, so a year ago, John would be the heavy favorite, but at this point, it's a toss-up. So far, if you do that early 6 Zergling play, if you get the pool faster than the hatch, it doesn't delay you much, but you really want to get more than a couple SCVs. Like, you want to delay the command center or even get a cancel. Some players will just immediately cancel when they see the links and rebuild on the high ground. But Epic stood his ground. He handled the Zerglings, and now he's going to be getting the benefit of that. He's working his way into a 1-1-1, the Destiny Clown Fist. The classic setup for Terran players throughout the history of Starcraft 2, allowing them access to essentially every piece of tech, and then they can expand sideways from there, once they get all the stuff they need early on with minimal economy. First Hellions coming through. Hellions, not expensive. Only cost him minerals. You can build them from a reactor. Used to keep control, well, ideally keep control of the creep and deal with any big swells of Zerglings. It could mean mech, but in this case, it's not unlikely Epic's going to go bio. I don't even know if I've ever seen Epic go mech. He really likes that classic Marine medevac style. It's just, I'm really hoping we get there. I don't know anything about these games. Once again, wasn't able to catch him during the qualifiers because there was so much going on. But I'm glad we get to see him now. All right. The classic 1-2. Epic coming in. Jonsnow already moved his Spore into position. He tried to come in with the Hellions as well, but Jon has plenty of Queens. Zerglings. He did cut drones a little bit. A bit sloppy on Epic's Liberator there, but he did cut drones a little bit. Well, wait a second. He just kind of drives his way into the natural. Jon with a nice drone split, minimizing damage. 6 drones killed thus far. The thing is, he's also built a lot of Zerglings, and he didn't stop the drones from dying there. It's an opportunity cost situation. If you get in with the Hellions, and even if you kill a lot of drones, especially if you're going for a quick third command center, which Epic is. Oh, that was... Okay, stop it. Just... That was cute to get the SUV on the other side. But if you're going for a quick third CC, there's no more map control. Epic has no way to assert himself. Nothing that keeps Jonsnow worried about what's happening back at his own base. So even if Jon loses drones, that means he can immediately, another round or two, a dozen, 2 dozen more drones. I wouldn't be surprised if he does it. Because he just saw the third command center. He saw the third command center. He saw there were no more Hellions being built. He saw the Marines, and I believe earlier he actually saw Stim researching with his Overlord. So that's going to confirm it. This is... I think we're going right back to the standard playbook for both these players. Jon keeping Epic honest, but not overcommitting. He's not going to all in. Whereas Epic, he's not worried about... He's not one of the players who's going to go try to kill all your drones and then get a huge game-ending advantage. No. At some point, he's going to move out. And it's going to look like Jon has enough. But oftentimes, with the tanks in the right spot and the Marines split in the right way, it starts to go the other way. A double drop's going to start the action off. Well, I mean, we had some action, but this is where the action really... This is... Now we're heating up. The Hellions, not hot enough. Jon, has he been too greedy? He has 68 drones. He's going for a 4th. +1 melee attack is done. Epic, not too far beyond. He's got 1-1 on the way with the armory already finishing for access to 2-2. But 16 Stim Marines and 2 medevacs have always been a scourge of Zergs. No puns intended. Wings and Banes, especially with that melee and that much creep spread. Right now, Epic is just trying to kind of keep him under control. Even though he's playing a more passive style, he can't just let Jon get creep all over the map. Makes it too hard to actually push forward later on when he has the army he wants to do damage with. So just staying at the edge of the creep. There's nothing that can really reliably kill the medevacs quickly. There's not going to be mutas. In fact, did Jon skip a Hydra Den? He did not. He's building Hydras. Well, he's not building Hydras, but he has a Hydra Den, rather. Hydras cost gas and slow down your tech, though. So you don't want to build them too early if you don't need them. Like right now, you don't need to build Hydras. Oh my god, Jon has 81 drones. I'm so glad, like, these guys, when they match, I don't know. I've almost every single game I've seen of them is, all right, we're going to poke each other a little bit. Maybe somebody gets a little ahead, a little behind. And then we're going to 70-plus workers, the highest economies you see in StarCraft, which is 3 mining bases usually. And we're just going to keep beating on each other. Jon is going for a hive, but he's adding on Hydras, so he's not speeding, he's not rushing hive tech. He's just, well, he's getting there quickly, but he's not rushing it. He's still going to have the mid-game Hydraling Bane army. At the same time, Epic is really focused around a 2-2 tank push. That should be coming up relatively soon. He's keeping control of the creep. He does have a 4th command center on the way, so he's not married to the idea of winning the game off it. The supplies are about even, but remember, Jon has a lot more drones here. A hive is on the way. Not done yet. Wait, did Epic scan it? He did not scan it. He hasn't seen the main base since the early game. The double-double on the sides. Just keeping control of as much creep as possible. This is when it starts. He's trying to get Jonsnow to come all the way back. The Overlord spotted this a while ago. There was no Viking to take them out earlier. This should open up the map to take a 4th and start the push. Epic he's going up to 8 barracks. Still trying to keep control of the center of the map. The 4th base will be established if he lets his own tanks out of his base. That is an important concern. Epic, your tanks! Epic, the tanks! Epic! Oh, that's a bit of an issue. The tanks are going to be behind, but he's still putting the pressure on. Jon has to hold. He's got an Ultralisk Cavern on the way. He's got Adrenal Glands +3. All this stuff he's invested in, but it has not paid off. John needs a lot of banelings. He needs to hold on to his 4th because he can't compete with a Terran army. It just becomes so cost-effective. 3-3 is on the way for Epic. He's not slowing down on that. In fact, his +3 armor is going to be a little bit quicker than John's. The banelings, though, on creep. He's going to need a scan very soon. And Epic has moved all his army together. He's consolidated. He's taken all his fingers and put them into a fist. He wants to bring it down on John, but he's continually going to go, well, a counterattack here. Slows down the planetary. A few banelings at the front. Push back some Marines. Epic's got to be careful not to bring too much back home. He still has 63 SCVs. John trying to come in from the sides, but a little disjointed means a lot more Zerglings are going to fall. Adrenal Glands is about to finish. John has built a handful of Vipers. Vipers for Blinding Cloud or Abduct, but the tanks are incredibly well spread. Epic is holding this forward position, keeping the pressure, but John is setting up a 3-prong surround. The Marines are hitting the hatchery. Yeah, is he going to pull the trigger? The Vipers are coming in from the back line. Where are the rest of the units? Still some more in reserve. The Vipers at the back. He uses the Blinding Clouds, but a little before the fight starts. Reinforcements on the way from both sides. Widowmine's connecting. The tanks will be unblinded, but still the Hydras behind have a lot of damage potential. The Transfuses holding the line for now. Epic pushes forward despite the tanks being, well, taken out. Is there enough? Without banelings, it's really tough to beat this army. John does have a base to the south. Another baneling comes in, gets close enough. A lot of Marines go down with it. Widowmine's connecting. All the banelings are gone. Medivacs, Marines, and Marauders. He's stimming through. Terran is on the way. The creep has been pushed back to the 4. John still has access to another base. He's got 78 drones. He's just continually pushing back the pressure. The 4th base is almost dead. The Hydras using the Lings as cover. They can't fight on their own. Down it goes. Epic, he's closing in on 3-3. He has 4 bases of his own. John cannot afford to lose his backup 4th now. The creep has been pushed back, but banelings rolling through. Another round was put together. The medevac's almost out of energy, and some of them being picked off. Ultralisks are in production. Big Daddy has joined the field. Chitinous plating is done. Those Ultras are not paperlisks. They can't be beaten easily. Wait, there's still a tank on the high ground for a few seconds. But without Liberators, without Ghosts, it's still going to be tough to take out the Ultras, even with +3 weapons. That +2 armor, very helpful. Speed is on the way. The Ultras will force Epic back across the map, despite getting so much ground with that first tank push. Ultras using the little bit of creep for the speed boost. Speaking of speed boost, Ultralisk speed, the Usain Boltralisks on the way. Despite losing the base, John still has 70-something drones, and that is very important for maintaining production, especially in these armies that are continually trading back and forth. He looks to be going to a more cost-effective later-game army, a greater spire for Broodlords, pathogen glands for infestor energy. He's got more banelings, and even ranged attack is on the way. Epic, now that John has an army that can match him pound for pound, he's going to try to divide and conquer. Drops on the left, maybe some drops on the right. He's building Liberators, almost gets one of the Ultras. But until he has Liberators and or Ghosts. And Epic, he's one of those Terrans who will try not to go Ghosts unless he absolutely has to. Sometimes that's what ends up being his demise. Sometimes that allows him to put on too much pressure and the Zerg breaks. A tank and a Marauder being caught out, but the Ultras also taking an interesting pathing here, and by interesting, I mean deadly. The Marauders are on the chase. Are there any infestors on the field? There are not, but they're going to pop out with enough energy for fungal growth. Epic is taking another base. He's continually moving forward. John has to wrap around to the north side of this lane. An infestor's out. Did he spot it? That fungal could be devastating. Widowmines from both sides. Widowmines hit everyone. Doesn't matter who. They don't discriminate. Epic picks up. How many medevacs will survive this? The Liberator is actually mostly uncontested. There's no anti-air besides Hydralis here, so while Epic... Oh, no, fungal! Might kill him. It looks like he's just barely gonna... He boosts the medevacs while they're fungaled. Once they come free, he will get out. That will maintain. That's 30 supply of units almost right there. Epic now, he's got Liberators on the field. He only has the one starport, I believe. Yeah, just one starport to pump him out. He's really still relying on these bio units. They're going to be less and less effective, especially as John reestablishes all these bases. He gets all his gas, all his tech here. Eventually, the medevacs and Liberators are going to stop working. He's going to need a higher level of tech if he doesn't do damage very soon. Liberator gonna siege up. Anything to distract Jon right now is super important. He can't allow him to concentrate on fighting heads up. This is a classic tactic used by Terrans. Just drag as many units as you can away from the fight so maybe you can win one. The hatchery taking a lot of damage. There's actually, it's all coming in from the same angle here. Oh, the Widow Mines get devastating hits. Ultralisk on the other side. Banelings coming in. There will be repair, though. The Ultra's going to move in for the splash damage. A base for an ace. A base for a base. An eye for an eye. Oh, wait. Is it? The Marines and Marauders come in. He will be forced to retreat. Epic holds. Jon is losing a lot of his units. He's already lost his base. The Liberators went uncontested because the other Liberator towards the north dragged him out of position. Epic is moving in with a solid Terran army again. How many Infestors still on the field? Some of them, a lot of them have energy for fungal growth. Widowmines connect. Medevac's gone. These units very vulnerable to fungal. Widowmines hit both sides again. Friendly and unfriendly fire. They're gonna connect, but the second round, the reinforcement at the same time, Epic comes in from the north. Jonsnow comes from beyond his wall and snipes another hatchery, and the Zerg are put down a peg again. But Epic has lost a lot of his army. Jon has held on to 4 bases. Epic has held on to 5. But just the sheer amount of units, he's lost a lot of medevacs. Are there even any there are no starport units left on the field. And those force multipliers are critical to be able to keep up this multi-pronged style of attack and pressure. Still no Ghost Academy. Liberator range is on the way. Broodlord's coming up. Broodlord and Fester, the staple of Zergs since the beginning of Starcraft 2. But it is difficult to make it work against a mobile Terran, which is why it's so important that that medevac count stays low, the Liberator count stays low, because the more of those he has, the easier it is for Epic to attack multiple places simultaneously. It's like 2 starports, maybe 3 now. He's got 3 starports. He understands the issue. Neosteel armor is on the way, but is that too little too... Baneling Mine! Not quite connecting, as is the classic tease that the double Baneling Mines oftentimes have. Has he seen the Broods yet? You can't fight the Broods. The Widow Mines are not very helpful. In fact, they're probably going to work against you. He's going to try to push him back. Oh, really? The alley-oop? Is it going to work? No, he'd rather just kill the army. He may successfully do so. The Broodlords are on the chase. What else does Epic have? He needs to send something else on the map. Otherwise, the inevitable march of the Broods. Epic, what are you doing? Massive fungal. A huge chunk of Terran being caught and chopped through by the Kaiser blades of the Ultralisk. Suddenly, Jon is at 200 supply. And Epic at only 150. There's a Widowmine blocking this base, but that's it for counter damage. Jon not gonna pull the trigger yet. There are ghosts in production, but is it too little? Is it too late? A Liberator does not have the anti-air it did when it first came out. That was pretty disgusting. Back when Liberators could kill everything in the ground and the air. Ah, the good old days, say Terrans. But here comes potentially the final march, the death push. How do you stop this? A lot of Infestors, a lot of Broodlords. Already losing some of the Vikings to fungal. The Banelings are rolling through, the splash damage overwhelming. Ghost trying to hold the line. This army, he has to pick it apart, but he does not have the power to do so. Still the Infestors. A lot of them have energy. He can stop him from closing the distance. Hold him at arm's reach. The planetary under fire. Are there enough Corruptors left? Indeed there are. He's still splitting. He's trying to snipe some Infestors before too much damage is done. Epic is going to lose another planetary. The last bastion of Terran. Jon comes in with more Ultralisks. He's taken out all of the medevacs. All of the ghosts. The Vikings never had a chance. Epic pushed him all the way back. But he didn't finish the job. Wow, this is quite a disgusting wall-in location. There's not much left. Epic's going to have to come back in game number 2 and give it another shot. That's not enough. Jon held on. He tried to go toe-to-toe, but he decided he'd take the high ground with the Broodlords. And it was enough. Epic has the heart of a Terran. He's going to just continue fighting it. As long as he has one medevac with any number of Marauders, this game ain't over yet. GG. It is now. He lost the medevac. But a back and forth. Epic, as is a common, I guess I'll say, issue, just refusing to go for those later game units until he has to, which it can work, especially against lesser Zergs, but against a player at this caliber, eventually you'll find you just can't kill them with that anymore. It's just not going to work anymore. And Jon eventually got to the army that made it not work anymore. He was patient. He didn't just get Broodlords and YOLO across the map. He held on to his bases. He took some hits, but he rolled with it. Game number 2. Winner of this qualifies for WCS Challenger. Automaton is the choice. I'm not sure whose map choice was which. I'd imagine that Automaton was Epic's map choice. King's Cove is a little longer rush distance. A lot more time to react to Terran. Automaton is pretty solid for drops and tank pushes. It's going to be another gasless pull first from Jon. Now, part of the reason to go for this is not just to pressure a Terran, but in the chance that he goes for a proxy Rax of some kind, then it just shuts it down. Like, if you already have Zerglings before the Marines start producing, you pretty much, even if it is proxy Reaper, you're in a great spot. So you sacrifice a bit of economy, well, a significant bit, several drones, a lot of time on a hatch, to potentially delay their command center or stop a proxy. Oh, he's going to try to kill him. Roachhorn is on the way. Roachhorn is not for safety, contrary to Platinum League belief. The Roachhorn is for an all-in. This time, though, Epic has scouted. He didn't mineral walk, but he will make it by. The fact these Zerglings exist is already very important information for him. But he's not going to get in to see the Roachhorn. The hatchery is almost a decoy here for Jon. He's 100% intending on Epic, thinking this is very similar to the previous game. It's going to be Roaches and maybe even Ravagers. He only has one gas, so I'm not sure about the Ravagers. This is a clever, sneaky move. And Epic, if he underreacts, like, if he just minimizes, if he tries to be as cost-effective as he can on the defense, he might just die. We'll see. There's a single queen. The queen there to show, like, oh, I have 2 queens. Everything about this is Jon trying to telegraph that he's doing the same build as last game. He's going to build a bunch of drones, going to macro it out. He's not. The Roaches are already on the way. The Reaper is being baited by the Zerglings in order to be completely out of position. Hellions do not counter Roaches. Jon wants his qualification spot. He thinks this is the best way to get it. He's probably right. Another Marine comes up. So much going on in Epic. He still doesn't know what happens when those Roaches show up. Oh! Is able to rally out the Hellions barely in time. Oh, gotta be careful about the wall. Don't let him in. Oh, wait, did he let him in on purpose? I don't know. The SCVs, the boys have to be pulled right off the bat. The Corrosive Bile kills Jon's own Roach, as well as a couple SCVs, but still. SCV's off the line. Is it just too much? No, he shot himself in the face again. You gotta be real careful about that. Jonsnow has now shot himself twice. So he's got a real victim complex here. This is the way I want to go. Epic, though, has lost 15 SCVs. He does have 2 orbital commands. He has a lot of tech. But it was still 15 SCVs. which is tough. Oh, will that Widowmine kill the Ovi? Nope. That Ovi won't be very happy about that, though. So, while Jon definitely kind of mishandled the attack, to say the least, it did plenty of damage. It gives him a lot of space to work with. And he's working with it in the way I think he's putting on a clinic. Build some queens, get some creep, let some Hellions into your base, lose the game. That's how it goes usually, right? Kills one of the Hellions off, very important. And the Roaches are back in time. He's not going to lose many drones, but drones are very important. They're at a premium right now. So 4 drones of counter damage. He did lose the Hellions. Liberator is on the way. Widowmine's going to block a 3rd as well, so I like this from Epic. Just 3rd command center. He's going to macro it out. You see both these players wanting to default to that. But the Hellions definitely could have done more, but it wasn't nothing. Liberator, I don't know if it's been spotted, but there are no Spore Crawlers. There are Queens, but without Spore Crawlers, the Liberator is still at least going to deny mining. Yep, for sure. The drone's not pulled for a little bit. Gets a couple, but if he loses the Liberator too early. Oh, never mind. It's dead. Wait, did he spot the lair then? He did not see the lair on the way. Epic is, overall, I'd say the one thing Epic is lacking is his engineering base. Does he agree with me? 2 NG bays right here, Epic. You know what to do. One of these times I'm going to look smart. Wait. Where did he put him? Oh, the back of his natural. Doesn't want to risk him being at the wall. Overall, having 3 command centers, you still have 1-1-1 and your production up quickly. Epic has recovered well from Jon shooting himself in the face with his own Ravagers. If Jon does have a lead, it is marginal. Because he has no real way to pressure. He's going for Roaches. If Epic can actually recognize that. The thing about Roaches, they're a blunt instrument. But you have to match them with equal or greater force. Because if he just gets so many Roaches, it doesn't matter how good your micro is. The Roaches will run over certain amounts of units. So if Epic doesn't realize he's dealing with mass Roach, and he sends too many units out or tries to take a heads-up fight, and 40 Roaches just bludgeon him, well, he's going to be in trouble. The correct move here, in most scenarios, is just build up tanks, try to get as close to 200 supply as you can, or really focus on drops. Maybe both. But you want to have enough tanks so that the Roaches don't even want to contemplate attacking, let alone try. That forces them eventually to get other tech, whether it be just going into Hydra Ling or something along those lines. The scan, did the scan actually see anything? He scanned the very middle, and it looks like he saw essentially nothing. I don't know if he saw the road. Well, this should be a little bit of a giveaway. He's still building tanks, or at least he has them queued up. Build some T-bows. The first round of this bout was so much of a brawl, and so much damage was done that both sides had to take a breather for a bit. Double drop. He sees the Roach Ravager. He's like, okay, wait a second. Yeah. I don't care. A couple tanks are not going to solve his problem right now. He doesn't have 1-1 done yet. Jon does. We're about 10 seconds out, though. It should be done by the time a fight really starts. Jon's just coming in. Epic is building engineering bays just to muck up the AI and make it harder for the Roaches to get by. 1-1 is nearly finished. He scans the armor. He knows it's coming. He knows the swarm. Okay, 1-1 is done. No combat shields yet. The tank's trying to move into position. That's a 3rd tank there. He's trying to hold the line. Corrosive Bow is actually landing in the center mass of the Marines. A big mistake out of Epic. He's still trying to work his way forward. The tanks are shooting the rocks! No! What are you doing? Some big missteps out of Epic. Reducing, he definitely kills the rocks, but a bit of a misclick. He loses Marines. The tank shooting the rocks. He still holds on for now, but could have done so much more to push back John. 4 tanks now. Where are you going? Epic thinks, where won't he be? Right down the center, and he's right. John did not have units.
Attack.
The thing is, Epic can't be everywhere at once. John kind of can. He has so many roaches and ravagers. He's going for the finishing blow. He's coming in from every angle. The Zerg is numberless. Well, actually, I think we can count them. But are there too many? That's the only number that matters. Epic, double dropping at the back. But if he breaks the production line, if John breaks the production line, which it looks like he very much will, he can come back and handle the drops as well. This is the big weakness of Roach Ravager. Their Achilles heel is a strong drop, but he was able to do so much damage, it doesn't matter. If he can get another base, or if he can get a bunch more drones, then Epic can recover. He got the 3rd base out of there. The worker count is not bad at all. John's trying to hold on. Roaches are being targeted down. +2 starts for both sides. Epic a little bit more ahead on it. Do it. Do it. Oh, please. Come on, John. Throw the corrosive biles up. Come on, baby. He's not doing it. But the bio can actually maybe fight this. This is a little awkward. He really wants his base back. The rest of the roaches are coming up. He's grabbing all his forces together. Epic's gonna try to fight heads up, which is exactly what John wants. He only has a single tank in the back. The boys are pulled. There's just not enough Terran here. He's running him over. And Jonsnow with overwhelming force. Looks like he's gonna finish this how he started it. There's more medevacs than Marines and Marauders. Jonsnow qualifies for WCS Challenger. Epic looked like he wasn't quite mentally ready for that. The drops were the choice, but John, sometimes more units counters less units. It doesn't matter very much what those units are. But congratulations to John. I wish him luck. And I hope you guys enjoyed catching up on some of the matches I wasn't able to watch during the qualifiers themselves. So, like, subscribe, leave a comment saying, I like this, or I'm first, even if you're 4th. And also, no one cares either way. And also, nobody cares about the people who type no one cares in reply. Very important. Happens almost every time, though. So, to both of you, keep on keeping on. Nobody cares.